Dawn dish soap, tough on grease and oil, but gentle enough for wildlife. Those commercials gut me every time I see them. Watching people clean off those birds after an oil spill, feathers and wings dripping black, oily slime. They barely resemble birds. As a woman, I felt buried in slime, unrecognizable to myself. I was a people pleaser, and I buried myself in the expectations of others. All I knew was I must not be good enough because everybody wants me to be someone else. I remember my boyfriend in college would tell me, put something in your bra so you have some cleavage. So I'd stuff toilet paper in it. Or he'd say, you're going to be fat, just like your mother. So I'd stop eating. One time, he said, you don't deserve an A on that exam because you didn't study. You have to go tell the professor that you won't accept it. Gaslighting, more layers of slime. As a woman, I was unformed, a stick figure, straight lines and hard angles that could roll into a ball of subservience. I did talk to that professor, told him I didn't deserve the A. He thought I was nuts. I was nuts. I was crazy to stay with a boyfriend who sabotaged me and criticized me and beat me up. Covered in slime, I just started drinking. What finally made me break up with him? When he wanted me to live with him and this other girl, Kathy. I dropped out of college and started working for the dentist that I later married. His dental practice became my drug supply until one of his patients in alcohol recovery talked me into getting clean and sober. I went into a 30-day inpatient treatment center, and afterwards, I was advised to enter a 6-month program in a halfway house. Some are sicker than others. Arlene, my counselor there, she asked me, what do you like to do for fun? I was nervous. I wanted to say the right thing. Well, my husband bought us motorcycles and we do a lot of touring. We ride dirt bikes. We spend a lot of time with his kids and we plan our vacations around them. Well, around them and dental meetings. Once when I got pregnant, he insisted I have an abortion, but I had to wait until I finished the end of the month bookkeeping. Arlene stared at me. But what do you like to do? She asked. My face got warm and my hands started sweating. There was no me. There was only him and we. I thought he was a good guy because he didn't beat me up. He was just critical and controlling. But I could handle that with drinking and taking drugs and working endless hours in the dental office. Bring on the slime. He served me divorce papers when I was in the halfway house, threatened to keep my cats. One night during a group meeting at the halfway house, Steve, another counselor, pulled out a switchblade. We all got quiet. The click when he opened it echoed in the room. He put the knife in my hand and told me to slash all the couches and chairs. The week before, he told us to find new furniture for the meeting room, and we hadn't done it. The knife was cold and heavy in my hand, and I froze in front of a dirty green couch. Everything there was secondhand. I stared at him and tried to figure out, is he serious? He can't be serious. Do it, he said. Get angry, he said. Pretend it's that boyfriend that punched you. But I wasn't angry. I was terrified of Steve. I raised my hand and I stabbed at the cushion and the knife bounced off of it. It took 2 or 3 tries before the knife pierced and sliced the fabric. Somehow I worked my way around the room, slashing cushions and armrests and stuffing coming out. That wasn't who I was. I dropped out of the program a few days later. They use tough love tactics for hardcore drunks and addicts, and no one could be tougher on me than me. I went back to my husband and found another counselor, Dolores, and joined her outpatient women's group. With their help, I worked on building up the courage to move out of that husband's house. I'd been paying rent on an empty apartment for months. I was afraid to leave, afraid of that husband with his 5th-degree black belt and all his guns and his hitman karate friends. But even more, I was afraid to be alone, afraid to find out who I was without him, without alcohol, without drugs. One night at a meeting, my AA friends asked, "What's it gonna take to get you out of there?" And I said the words I'd been avoiding my whole life. I need help. I can't do it alone. And they said, "We'll help you. How about this weekend?" And I cried. And I said, "Really? You would do that for me?" They did. We made several trips moving my stuff in the rain. My final load was my 4 cats. And as they meowed and rattled the bars on their cages in the back of the car, I looked north towards my new apartment. And there, spanning the horizon, was a huge, vibrant rainbow. The universe lets you know when you're on the right track. I got a divorce, but all that slime, it doesn't come off overnight. The story after the story isn't a beautiful dawn where my feathers are light and airy and suddenly I can fly. No. Starting anew is not an event. It's a process with a lot of setbacks and a mantra of begin again. And sometimes you learn who you're not before you learn who you are. Mostly what I work on now after 35 years of sobriety is not creating any more oil spills. I keep my feathers as clean as I can. And when I fly, I use a GPS so I don't get lost. Something one of those AA friends told me long ago was, be gentle with yourself. We wild creatures, we need a gentle touch.